I can look up old if I want to go with some of the first, and go new to look up some of the ones that are recently. And just make sure that you're upscaling something that you really like, because that's what's going to tell Midjourney what it is, the styling and the content that you really want it to produce. So I see all the fur babies, but I need to get to my baby babies first. Oh, these came out so good. All right, I'm gonna go old first so I can go backwards here. And these are, I was telling y'all that you can do different art styles. Let me show you these first. So if you are prompted, we've done our watercolor. We have done watercolor galore, came up some beautiful artwork. If you want to try different styles, then you can check out, I don't know if this is in my test room, but you can actually put in different styles such as hyper realistic. You can put in photorealistic. Just put the word illustration and then don't do watercolor illustration. It'll give you different results. You can do 3D animation, 3D animation chibi, and then you can just do chibi itself. All right, that's the Pixar 3D animation. And like I said, you can do different styles. Now that you understand the prompting technique, you can do those different styles for the flowers. You can do those different styles for the mom with the child, and you can do those different styles for the mom with the pet as well. All right, and I'm just showing you some of these different results that I got earlier doing the different styles. So while I'm doing the Photoshop work tonight, if you all want to, you can do some different styles here. I'm just telling you the watercolor was the one that I felt would be the most universally resonating one for Mother's Day, because it looks already like it's artistic, like it's a painting. And sometimes when you go too photorealistic, it looks like it's a photo of someone. And I think if you keep it more watercolor or more illustration style, then you're able to kind of get a different feel here without someone feeling like it has to be a picture of them. Okay. And this one was one of my favorites here. I'm going to go jump to this one. I'm going to show you a little something here. I'm going to vary region, see if I can get a little bit of a difference with her hand there. I know it's watercolor, but I kind of didn't like the way that thumb was drawn. So hopefully it gives me a better option there. If not, I'll still use it because it still looks good. It just looks a little odd. All right. And now I'm going to start combining some of those images. And look, it's giving me the alternatives there. So even this one that has a hand hidden in the hair is fine. This one, hand cupped. This one looks a little bit better. I think I'm going to go with number 2. All right, that looks good. Now, if I really want to have this higher resolution, I'm going to go to Upscale Creative. If I'm just using it as kind of like a small image, it might just be like the inside of the O, like when we spell out the word mom. I don't have to upscale it creative. I can pretty much just open this in browser and use it as is. But when I upscale it creative, it's going to give me a higher resolution image right here from Midjourney. Now, if I'm using it for a bigger project, for instance, I'm doing all over shirts, backdrops, that sort of thing, then I probably want to bring it into an upscaler that is not Midjourney's version of upscaling, but I think I've shown you a couple of those before. And my favorite one is the Topaz. All right, now it's upscaling creative. I'm also going to go ahead and upscale subtle so that it doesn't do that much change to it. And then I can show you the difference between when it upscales creative and when it upscales subtle. And then meanwhile, while this is going on, this is my upscale creative. See how it kind of changed a lot with the face? You can see it put like a fingernail on there and stuff, and it changed the styling a little bit versus the initial image. You see that? That's the creative. And then it's upscaling subtle, meaning that it's not really going to have much changes. And I'm probably going to go with the subtle because I like the subtle. All right. And then meanwhile, let's see if I can find my calla lilies. One that I really like. I'm looking for more of an open wreath. All the ones with the, y'all did the dogs with the calla lilies. Oh, Lord. These look good. Oh, the swans look pretty with the calla lilies. I love that. So let me go to this one. And I like that it has the swans here that look like they're already in the kind of heart formation. I'm going to upscale number 4 here. Oh, these are pretty too. You see how you can get caught up in this AI stuff, y'all? Truly caught up. I really like image number 4 here. 4 right there. And I like 2. And y'all, if you see that somebody already upscaled it, don't upscale it again because you're using your credit for no reason. If it's already upscaled, then you can just use that one that's already been upscaled. Ooh, that one's pretty with the, is that a daisy in the middle? Yeah, I would have never thought to put this one with daisies. I like that one too. All right, so I got to pick something so I can show y'all some artwork. Like this is what I end up doing, having a whole catalog here. And let me get some work done. So I'm gonna go to my test room. I see there's a red there. It's showing red wherever I prompted and it's got something ready for me. That one's pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and open in my browser. Okay, once I open in browser, then I'll save it. So I'm gonna go ahead and open all the ones I want in my browser and then go to save them. Let's see, I did something here in room 2. It's calling out for me. Jump to present. Oh, that peacock is gorgeous. All right, so this one right here. Let's keep it moving. Oh yeah, this one I liked too. And for you all, for those of you all who are taking the VIP class on Wednesday, or if you get the classes unlocked from our Wednesday Photoshop templates, then you'll have a handful of some sample AI artwork so that you can switch out for the class. But y'all, you really want to be in these AI rooms. So not only do you learn how to prompt, but you're ending up with a whole host of resources. Like imagine having to prompt all of this stuff by yourself with your Midjourney account and your time. Like we're literally in here working together making this cool stuff. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. These are too cute. I'm gonna put in the back now because I want to grab a back view one as well. Oh, look at the back view with the cats. These are nice, Emma. Oh, that was gorgeous. Oh my goodness, these are so gorgeous. I see you doing the messy bun there. Loving that. So image number 2 looks so pretty. I like the idea of even doing the different hairstyles from the back because that way it doesn't have to show a face. This is gorgeous. Oh. These are gorgeous. All right, I think I'm gonna pick one of these. I need, oh, this one has mom in front and baby in the front. So I'm gonna go grab image number 2. So I'll jump to it, take image number 2, or image number 4. I like 4 too, but image number 2, that one's pretty. All right, so now it's time for me to get to doing some Photoshop work. Like I said, I can shop here in this Discord all day. Let me see how much work y'all did. Let me see. I go here and see how many images we have in here so far. Okay, we have about 26. So that's about 5,200 images in here so far. Not bad, y'all. Keep it up, keep it up. All right, so let me go ahead and do some work now. Let's pull some of this stuff up into Photoshop. Before I pull it into Photoshop, I'm gonna save my work. Save image as. And y'all see I already have some images here for y'all. 11. So this is gonna be mother number 2. Oh, that my bad. That was supposed to be, let me resave that. That was supposed to be the back view. So that would be back view number 3. That's my flowers. That's my wreath. So that would be wreath number 5. And this will be wreath number 6. All right, so I definitely have options. I'm going to show you a little bit of my workflow working through this. This one's really pretty. All right, so this one. All right. And number 12. Yep, I'm going to save over this one. All right, so we got some work to do now. Let's come on over to the Photoshopage. And before I get going in Photoshop, I want to, let me see how many credits I have. If I want to use my credits, removing the backgrounds for these for y'all. All right, so I got 8 credits. That's gonna work. I'm gonna drag this one. Back view, front view. I definitely love the swans. I thought that was beautiful. And I have this one here with cherry blossoms and a robin, I think is really pretty. I'm gonna go that one. So I have 2 wreaths, a front view and a back view. That's good enough. I'm gonna go ahead and start my background removal. And in seconds is done. I'm gonna go ahead and open the output folder and sort by the date. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those, cut them. And I'm gonna go ahead and put them in a folder for you all. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and create a new file here because I want to just have a fresh file to start with. Y'all really don't get to see me build from scratch much anymore because we're always working in templates. I was actually working on some large scale graphics, 10 by 20 floor wrap for formal events. I did bar wraps and welcome signs and all of that stuff. So you see here, I was working big scale. So we're going to bring this down to just basically a 13 by 19. And I'll do 150 resolution. And then my color profile, I'll do my working RGB here. And let's create. Now what I'm gonna do is just take these pieces here and drag and drop them onto my artboard. And y'all remove BG. I don't care what anybody says, there's a better job than removing these backgrounds in Photoshop. Matter of fact, one my large high-end job that I just did, I was really disgusted how Photoshop left some pieces around the ears and stuff, and my remove BG did so much better. Anyhow, we'll talk about that some other day. Let's do a solid color here. I like to pick a little weird color that I know I'm not going to leave on. That's going to draw my attention to if I have some mess to remove. And I'm going to show you how easy this is to pull together. All right, now I was telling you all, if you want more kind of watercolor type edges and it's not giving you that, I'm going to show you that feature first. So let's say it's a hard line here, or I just don't like the hard lines that are cut out here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer mask here. I'm going to grab my paintbrush and I'm going to grab a watercolor type brush. And let me pull this down. And what I want to view, I want to take off the stroke in the name. I'm just going to do the brush tip here. And I'm looking for something that has a nice kind of watercolor edge there. And then I'm going to reduce the size of this brush because it is a little huge. Reduce that size down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a fresh new layer that I'm just going to paint on right now, because you don't paint on your artwork, y'all. You're going to paint on this external layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp here. I'm going to bring it above here. And I'm going to make sure that I'm inside of my artwork a little bit. So I'm going to make like a little faux outline here. Maybe even right there. I like how it has the hair cut out, so I'm going to leave that be a little bit. And like I said, I'm not painting on the artwork, I'm painting outside of it. And then I could switch up my brush a little bit if I want a little variation here. That was a little too, that's the one a little too extra. Oh, I can show you how to do the one with the love brush too. Okay, I'll show y'all the love brush next. All right, so there I go with my watercolor. And then I'm going to make my brush bigger here. Can't see my brush. Let me see what it's going to make. I'm going to make a new layer because I don't know how big this brush is. There it goes. Now it's showing up. A little bit bigger. All right. And that one, if it's too big, tap off of the artboard because I don't want that to be on my artboard. This one has a variable size, so it gets bigger and smaller every time you click. All right, I really do like that one. Matter of fact, I think I like that one better. So I'm going to take this one and use it. Control C, just control click on the thumbnail here. And then I am going to delete that layer mask. All right. So I'm going to take this, move it again. I'm going to disable this layer mask here. And I'm just kind of creating my own little edge there. And when I'm on this layer mask here, if I have, I'm gonna show you, if I hit delete right now, and I have white in the background, it's going to add white to the foreground, basically kind of revealing some of that. All right, let me turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. I want to bring that back, bring that back. And here, when I delete, I want to bring some of the image back. Okay. So now that's looking a little more watercolory to me. And then the rest of this was fine to me. So I'm just going to use my regular brush and bring it back. My regular soft round brush, bring it right on back. And now this looks more like a watercolor art to me. Uh-oh, I got to bring white to the foreground because white reveals, black conceals. And like I said, this is the other reason why I put that green background on here, because I kind of want to have a real understanding of what colors in the back. If I had white on right now, I wouldn't have this same understanding of, do I have a little transparency on those edges? Now, if you're doing DTF, you do not want transparency on your edges. You want to have a nice finished and hard looking edge there. And I'm just blending that in. All right. So that's how you get, like if you had a hard edge, hard line down there, you can use this method to basically make it look like you have a watercolor edge finish. I'm just cleaning that up right there. Boom. All right. And then I could possibly clean that up there, but I actually like that little excess piece that's over there. It's gonna make my artwork flow. All right, so I can bring my swan on now. See how this is kind of adding to it now? My swan is pretty much as big, and my calla lilies are as big as I want them to be. So I'm gonna take my artwork here and just resize it down just a little bit. All right, and now I have a beautiful frame. So I want y'all to imagine that, like that could be a portrait. It could be like the definition of a mother, where it says like mother and then a definition underneath. I will have a template for you all on Wednesday. We'll be using this, but I just want you all to get some ideas and understanding too of how you can pull these things together. Now, I told you I can change the color of her shirt. Now that I know what flowers I'm using, that blue is kind of not really what I want. So I'm going to use a hue saturation here. Make sure that I clip it down to the shirt layer. I'll touch on the blue here. So it's telling me that those are cyans. So if I bring them all the way down and all the way up, I can see where my cyans are. But I also see that I have a little blue here. So I can take my blues and pull that down, and then that's completely blue gone. Go back to my cyans, bring my saturation up, and I want to change this to the colors that are more in the flower here. So I'm looking for that kind of orangish, reddish color here. I'm going to bring down my saturation. That's giving me a little more purple. Then I'm going to play with my blues. Bring my saturation back up. That's giving me more of my reddish oranges. Then I want to bring the lightness up, saturation down a little bit. And this is just me eyeballing it, y'all, but you see how I can kind of eyeball and get a similar color there? Just because I know how to play with my hue saturation. All right, and the reason why we use blue, because blue and green are typically not in skin tone, but because we're using flowers, I don't like to use green as my color. I like to use blue because blue is that color that's usually going to shift easiest and separate from the image there. All right, so that's my combination number 1 here. I'll take this one and pull that together. That's one piece of artwork right there. And then artwork number 2, if I'm gonna go here. And this one, what I want some of my image to kind of pop out or in front of and some of it to be behind. Y'all already know how I do with the pop outs. So I'm gonna pull this down a little bit. And I want it up just enough to have a little bit of pop out here. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is control click on my wreath here. And I have the inside meat of the wreath selected, so I'm gonna select the inverse. And then that way I have the outside of the wreath selected. I'm gonna come here to my artwork of the back view of the mom and child. Now, what just happened was I created a layer mask that is specifically going to be for this wreath, but it selected the inverse of it. So what I want to do is Control I. Right, so that's going to give me a clean everything that's inside of here. Then I can click back on my layer mask here, and I'm going to control click on just the mom and the child now. I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger here on the layer mask. I'm going to bring mom and child back, making sure that I stay inside of my wreath here. And if I want mom and child to pop out in front of the wreath, then what I'm going to do is getting right up and through here. Oh, I went too far. Make this brush a little bit smaller. I'm being lazy going with the fast brush. And if it fades a little outside of here, like I said, if you're doing DTF, you want this to be a clean edge here, okay? So that's why I'm being precise about not, oops, I gotta turn that to black. Not having anything hanging out of here because this will be a perfect DTF design, y'all. And if y'all need to know about DTF, Coach Ann is the one who can tell you how this artwork needs to be laid out and cleaned up and perfected for your DTF printing needs. Okay, so I got that. Now what I'm going to do, click on my mother and child again. I'm going to go to my wreath now. I'm going to add a layer mask. Oops, it did the reverse. So I'm going to Control I. All right, and then I'm going to bring my wreath back down here at the bottom. Oh, got black concealing. I need white revealing. All right. Here we go. Simple, simple. Doesn't that look good, y'all? Can you imagine that on like your tumblers? You can even do cards. You can do digital cards, y'all. And some people forget that digital is still a way to send gifts. So even if you send someone Cash App, maybe you could also send them a little card like this. All right. So that concludes my Photoshop portion of our AI in action class. I hope you all are going to use these pieces of artwork. I hope you all use at least one of these 6,000 images that y'all created here. Let me see if y'all been working anything. Okay, y'all been working still. Let's go. Okay, you're doing a different hairstyles, got your braids. Let's go. All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna let y'all continue. You can play inside of this AI room as long as you want. You have access to it as long as it exists. So please continue to make your artwork here, and we'll be using this for Wednesday class. So for those of you who are in AI, I'll give you a little few pieces of artwork so that you can play with and create the design on Wednesday. But please understand that I want you to make sure that you are coming into this AI room on Mondays and creating some beautiful artwork with us. All right, my loves. So I appreciate you and I love you dearly. And until next time, bye.